In the words of the late, great John Ward, your champions are clad in orange and white. Your Tennessee Volunteers men's basketball team are the 2024 SEC regular season basketball champions. My name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange. This is the Orange Blazer Basketball Show. Let's go, baby. Tennessee takes care of business tonight. In a game that there were so many times I was like, we are so close to blowing these guys out. But in Tennessee fashion, it went down to the stretch. Tennessee 66, South Carolina 59. Tennessee goes on the road. Some super seniors' last road game of their careers, and they go out in absolute style. Got to be proud for these guys. It's a great night for Tennessee basketball. I've been fired up all day. I've been fired up since the moment I got out of the bed this morning. I'm fired up right now. Hopefully, unlike the Alabama game the other night, we'll keep the lips a little tighter than we did. But awesome night for Tennessee basketball. Where does this team go from here? Instant reaction for this game. What else can you say? What else can you say? The man, the SEC Player of the Year, should be the National Player of the Year, Dalton Connect. He wills them to victory again tonight. But it wasn't just him tonight. That was the good thing about this game. Keys to victory on it. I'm going back to my keys to victory. Win the rebounding battle. We looked at rebounding battle tonight. Tennessee was at 38. South Carolina's at 40. So they did lose that battle. It was close, though. That's something they're going to have to fix going forward. I just thought it was. Nah, I'm not. I'm not going to make it R-rated tonight, John. I appreciate that. It would be fun. It would be very fun to make it that way. We're gonna keep it a little. We're gonna keep it a little under wraps tonight. If they win a national championship, maybe we'll push the envelope a little bit. But until then, I had somebody last week, and I appreciate them commenting. They said your show could be great if you stop the cussing. And I think it's a case I'm probably not going to turn anybody off if I don't cuss, but I may turn people off of the channel if I do. So I got to weigh it both ways on it. And I'm grateful for that response, appreciative of it. And NC-17, I don't know, man. I'm not going to strip. I'm not taking a shirt off or anything for it, John. So we'll, excuse me, got me a little choked up on that one. But we'll, who knows what may happen that night. We may pull Stone Cold Steve Austin, cling a couple of cold ones together and chug them on there. We won't. I can't do that with my profession, but this is water, by the way, tonight. But hats off to this team. Hats off for, they were predicted to win the conference. They took care of business, man. Rick Barnes rules. I've been hard on him over the years and stuff. Let's face facts, guys. Rick Barnes is arguably the best coach in Tennessee basketball history. I'm going to get some of these comments. There's some dudes that, man, I miss seeing some of you guys that's popped in here. I'm going to address you here in a minute. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. This is this channel's been very humbling. It's been very cool. It's exciting to see people who I interacted with before coming onto this channel, and it's like every week more and more people are coming on. It's awesome to see you guys again. Cannot state it enough. Took a little sabbatical from this, learned some things, how to do my own thing. My game is basketball and baseball. Oh yeah, I'm gonna cover football as well. I'd be crazy not to. But when I kind of look at the landscape on it, and I hope I'll keep you guys with me while I'm kind of propping up my channel a little bit here. But as I keep you guys with me, there's plenty of football channels out there. They do a good job, man. I mean, I'm not cracking on anybody. The baseball and basketball, they do it. There's some that do it occasionally. This will be the most thorough, best basketball and baseball channel that's out there. I've seen a writer for 24/7 saying nobody's going to outcover them for basketball. You got somebody else coming for you, bud. And I like 24/7, but this ain't my full-time job. I'm still out covering you. I don't go on site. I don't make the money off of this to go on site. But oh yeah, I'm going to out cover you. It's coming. So for basketball and baseball, you'll get me on football. Many will. But anyhow, rant aside, where does this Tennessee team go from here? We're already up to 60 viewers right now. We're almost at a House of Orange record. The subscriptions have amplified just in the last week. Thank you guys so much for supporting, for I guess you believe what I'm doing, or you either think I'm an idiot and want to hear what I say stupid next. But thank you so much for it. But, back on task as we go. Dalton Knecht, 26 points, SEC Player of the Year. Should be the National Player of the Year on it. No disrespect to Edey or any of these other guys in it. But Dalton Knecht has taken a Tennessee program, put him on his back. He's gotten help. He got help tonight. He got the help from who he needed to tonight in numerous aspects of the game. He got the help he needed offensively. He got the help he needed defensively. He got the help he needed from an X factor standpoint tonight. That's what I love about this team. There's so many layers to this team. And there's times I've called Vescovy and James. I was like, we need more from them. A game like tonight, you can see why these guys are still on the court. You really can. I'm going to get in some comments and I'm going to go on a little further. Papa J, man, it's good to see you again. Let's go SEC champs. Outright. It's over. Undisputed. Number 1 seed in the SEC tournament. And we'll see. I still think they need to do a little bit in the SEC tournament because there's still that debate. Is it Tennessee or Arizona for that 4th number 1 seed? If Tennessee, my fear is if Tennessee, I've said it, if Tennessee loses, I don't care next weekend. But my fear is from a seeding standpoint, if they lose their first game and let's say Arizona makes a run, they'll find a way on the committee to put Arizona ahead of Tennessee. So at this point, I'm for Tennessee winning the conference tournament championship. And, you're going to have to play basketball at this point moving forward. If you're tired, you're probably already in trouble. So when they get in the conference tournament next weekend, go ahead and start building up that weekend immunity from it, or that weekend stamina, I guess you could say, on it. I want to see it, man. I want to see regular season conference tournament champs, and then let's go win the whole thing. Let's go win the whole freaking thing this year. This team's capable of it. Are there flaws? Yes. Are they perfect? No. Are they capable? Yes. That's what I love about it. But Papa J, good to see you, man. John Baxter, hang that banner. Oh, yeah. Another banner going up in the old Food City Center known as Thompson Bowling Arena. Absolutely. Would have been a lot better if DK could have gone 15 of 23. DK tonight went 9 of 23. Yeah, man, he had some good looks tonight he missed. What I liked about this team, a couple of things I liked, and I'll get back into the comments. Rebounding battle, they lost by 2, not the end of the world. That's close. 35% from three-point range. One of my keys to the game, I said, hold South Carolina to 30% or less from three-point range. They held them 27.6. South Carolina had some good looks in the first half. Tennessee took them out of their game, and they went three-point heavy. That lead that they built up in the first half, that was the difference tonight. Tennessee kind of went cold a couple stretches in the second half, and South Carolina couldn't make them pay. They were close. I'll say this. I cannot stand South Carolina for reasons being when we played them in football 2 years ago, we went to the game. Oh, it was all great before it, but when they got up, we got treated like absolute crap leaving that stadium. And, I guess that's SEC for you, is what it is. I live in the state. I listen to it a lot, but I got a lot of respect for Lamont Paris and what he has done this year. You got to give him credit. They were picked last in the conference. It's a gritty team. I don't think it's a great team. I'm curious to see how they do in the big tournament because their style of play could give some teams trouble. I think their draw could determine what they do. But I got a lot of respect for what he's done, and I think he's done an awesome job. He is the national, not just the SEC, but national coach of the year. Could Rick Barnes be the SEC coach of the year? Absolutely, he could. But they were picked to win the conference. Lamont Paris's team were picked to finish last. Got to give him his due. He's done an awesome job with this team. Hats off to him. They beat Tennessee in Knoxville the first time. It was not an easy game tonight. Tennessee was pretty comfortably up, had numerous instances where they could have ended it, but they didn't. But it's a good basketball team. Good environment that they've created up in South Carolina with him and Dawn Staley supporting one another. I like their dynamic. I like what they've done. I just don't like South Carolina. But let's see what else we got here. Kelly Goodwin says GBO. Let me go back up here a little bit. Got your comment, Kelly. Yeah, absolutely. Go Big Orange. Let's see what else we got here. Ghost of Johnny Majors. Go Big Damn Orange. So Johnny Majors is going to make me break a word out tonight. That's all right. It'll be all right. So, yes, absolutely. Great night. Darius Jones says SEC champs. Go Big Orange. Oh, yeah. Good to hear. Good to feel. Like I said, this morning, funny enough, driving up to work, catch a little Dr. Dre next episode on Sirius, and then flip the channel a little Cult of Personality on that. Living Color, Cult of Personality. The blood was pumping. The hair was standing up on the arms. I was amped up, ready for this game tonight. John Baxter says it's a championship celebration. Make it R-rated. Not tonight, bud. Not tonight. We'll see how it goes. John Baxter says, natting, we're going NC-17. Probably not. I don't think I'm going to take my shot. I don't want to lose subscribers, so we'll go that route. 67. Thank you, guys. Here's a dude I've not seen in a while. Good to see you, man. Evan Counts says Indy. Oh, yeah. Old name on another channel. Evan Counts. Used to talk a lot of baseball with Evan. Always on our baseball when we did baseball on another channel. Good to see you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Good to see you. Blueberry J24. Dude, just found your channel. So far, the content I've watched is good. Thank you. Thank you for that. Most of my content has been basketball and baseball right now. So, like I've said, that's where I'm going with this channel. That's going to be my bread and butter, basketball and baseball. Oh, yeah, we're going to hit football pretty hard, but there's such a market for football. I have to find something a little different for it. I've got some ideas, right? I don't want to just replicate and copy other people. I don't know. It's just not my style. It's not what I come into this to do. Let's see. Counts again, dude. I freaking miss you. Yeah, you too, man. Miss talking baseball with you. Absolutely. Subscribing now. That is awesome. All these subscribers are great. You guys that have tuned in. Let's freaking go. Papa J, man. The refs let them play tonight. That is a fact, man. They did. I laughed at one point in the second half where I saw Dalton Connect get pushed around, and then it was like a dude's arm pushed Ziegler, and they called a foul. It's like, how do you allow all this roughhouse, all these pushes and shoves, and then you call like a basic nothing? It's just, officiating's baffling. I appreciate the fact that they let them play. I thought there were some times, though, that it was a little over the top and they didn't call it tonight. So hats off, they let it go. But also, there is a point you have to blow that whistle. I mean, if you're knocking guys sideways, there's some acting goes on. There's no doubt about it. Let's see here. Evan counts them right down the road, baby. Augusta, Georgia. I'm actually a little further I was up the road from you for a while. I'm actually up more up toward the upstate now. Loving the upstate. Anybody's ever in the upstate, hit me up, man. This place rules up here. Love it. Keg 2071. Hopefully you're tapping into a keg tonight. March Madness sells. Swayze 865. Miles Studi can suck it. SEC champs love shutting that dude up. Yeah, he was a little amped up tonight. I can't blame him. I can't hate on him for it. He did what he was put in to do. He did a good job of it. He played a good game tonight. South Carolina, just too many misses. I mean, like I said, their 3-point percentage based on the number they took, they weren't accurate enough in this game. Their defense is good. They've defended Tennessee better than anyone this year, in my opinion. They fronted up. They're a physical team. They're built well. Whoever's over their strength and conditioning program needs a raise this year. I'm not sure how many guys they lose. They have a lot of transfers on that team. So I'm not sure how many of them are grad transfers. They have a few of them. So I'm curious to see how Paris rebuilds that team next year. We're hitting 71 right now. A new House of Orange record. Let's keep building this thing. Would I like to go to 100? Sure. Would I be disappointed? No. We're still rocking and rolling, man. Let's see. Darius Jones says, Tennessee set the tone from the start of the game. They set the tone from the start, and they did not look back. Was it pretty at all times? Nope. Did it get the job done? Absolutely. That's what good teams do. They play to any style. There's a past where this Tennessee program would not have won this game. How many times have we said that this year? That game X, insert number, whatever you want. Tennessee would not have won this game in last year or the year before on it. There's so many ways they can win this year. My fear is you face a Zach Edey with Purdue. If Tennessee gets that one, they're not going to have to worry about Edey until Final Four if both teams make it there. I like that. I like that for them. The key for Tennessee, if they are able to get that one seed, who's in their bracket with it. I still think they've got a little bit of business to take care of to get there just because of people comparing them in Arizona. If Tennessee does win out, they beat Kentucky Saturday. Let's say they do win the SEC tournament. You cannot deny them. You can't. Cannot do it. And you look at strength of schedule. You look at what they've done this year, who they beat, who their losses are. They really only have a couple losses that are bad on the season. I think the Texas A&M loss, I don't think it's awful, but I don't think it's a great loss. Mississippi State, I don't know if that's a great loss either. Not a bad team. Both of these are bubble teams. They're in the conversation. So it's not like you went and lost to Vanderbilt on the road, which would have hurt them. It's not like you lost to Missouri or Arkansas on the road. So their losses are not bad. I mean, losing at North Carolina, you're never going to get faulted from an NCAA tournament committee for losing at North Carolina. They lost neutral site to Kansas and Purdue. You're not going to get faulted for that. So that's what they have going for them. What do they do next week? They've already clinched the number one seed. I'm not sure how the bracket sets up if they have a bye until Friday or Thursday. I'm not sure what the earliest they play is on that. But let's see. Let's go in some more. Michael Elam. Vescovy played his ass off. Man, I cannot say enough about him for the last week or so. Does not show up in the stat column. I don't have the updated. Any of you guys that listen to me, I like to look at plus minus. And I'm not finding any updated plus minus right now. Occasionally we'll get that. The best stats I'm finding right now are on ESPN.com. Normally, you can find one through possibly UTSports.com. They have some good stat notes on it. But right now, unless I'm overlooking, I'm not even seeing a box score on UT Sports. I click on the article. Let's see. Let me go through it just to make sure once again. I'm going to look on Twitter, see if we got any comments yet from Rick Barnes or anybody on that we can kind of keep up and go with. Anything that may have occurred. Danny White tweets a meme of Queen. We are the champions. I see Tennessee basketball tweeted 5-way tie, LOL. We see Vols baseball, kind of get off top. I said I wasn't covering them. I didn't imagine the nail biter tonight would be them beating Southern Indiana 2-1. Did not see that one coming for sure. Some cool videos on here. Vescovy and his dad embracing after the game. Don't see any quotes as of yet right now. Just a lot of stuff on here. It's Meshack's mom tweeting. She's a pretty good tweeter. Jimmy Dykes, man, I love to hear Jimmy Dykes. Maybe it's because he seems more pro-Tennessee. But thank God we didn't have Jay Billis again tonight. And I've never been a Jay Billis hater before, but my goodness, last week at Alabama, he was horrendous. He was horrendous. He was horrific. I don't need to hear him again this year. I won't be tuning into the ACC tournament next weekend when he probably covers that. I'm hoping we get Tom Hart and Jimmy Dykes, or even Carl Ravitch and Jimmy Dykes on the call. That'll be fun to listen to if it's those guys. If it's Billis, he'll pump somebody else up that hasn't hurt his feelings like Tennessee did when they beat Duke last year and they dominated them and pushed his boys around. There are Homer, there are I don't know, Billis, and I think Billis is a smart guy. I really do. I don't think he's an idiot by any means, but I don't know. He really bugged me last week. Maybe he's playing up to what he's supposed to. Let's see. Caleb Broyle said, let's go. Absolutely. SEC champs. Let's see where things goes from here. But, you got to take it one step at a time. Winning your conference, that's the first step. John Baxter, Dalton makes this team different. We lose that game in past years. Cannot agree more. Cannot agree more. You don't have Dalton. We've said it on here. I'll give my old buddy Elam, hopefully he's still listening, credit. He said it on here at one point a couple weeks ago. This team doesn't have Dalton Connect. They're about a 5 at best seed this year. It's no disrespect to anybody on the team. That's where this team is at. You don't have Dalton Connect. You're a middle-of-the-road SEC team. You'll have your moments where you play well. You have your moments where you don't play well. Dalton Connect's totally changed the trajectory of this team. He's totally changed what this team can do. No matter if teams do focus on him, it seems to me like when teams have focused on him, other dudes have stepped their game up. There were some times tonight where I thought some guys sat around and watched, but gotta love it, man. Dalton Connect has been a godsend for this program. Whatever Rick Barnes and these coaches did, Gainey and these guys, Clark, whatever they did to get him there, you got to give him credit. And you got to have confidence in them after this year because you're losing Connect, you're losing James, you're losing Vescovy for sure. I've got to think, just because I think they have nothing to lose, I have to think that Adu and Ziegler test the waters just to see. I'm not saying they go pro. I'm not saying they should. But what do they have to lose by testing the waters to see what their stock is? So you got at least 3 guys gone. DJ Jefferson, I think the writing's on the wall. I hate to speculate on guys, but, sometimes the obvious is there. Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see how it goes. But when you've had these blowouts and you've seen walk-ons in, but not Jefferson, I think that's kind of signaled the writing on the wall at that point. I can speculate it on it. I'm not media. I'm just a guy trying to build a YouTube channel right now. And we're up to 85 viewers right now. Another House of Orange record. This is awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for giving just an old Tennessee fan, much like you all, a chance to do what he loves to do. This is pretty fun. Evan Count said, I thought the Bama game was griffy. Oh, I see. Gritty. It was, man. It was a gritty game for sure. It wasn't perfect. Connect. Bama played great defense against Connect. Other guys stepped up. I've said it numerous times. Tennessee does not win that game without Jemai Mashak, who a lot of people said was player of the game. I can't argue it. Vescovy and James. I would even throw Jordan Gainey into that because he had a good first half. He doesn't have that first half. Who knows what that score is at the half? Who knows what they have to come back from in second half? They already had to come back from enough of a deficit, even with Gainey's first half. Had he not had first half, I don't know what it would have been. A lot of good comments coming in. Thank you, guys. Sam Hargrove, South Carolina gave it their all, but our Volunteers hung tough on the road. Great to see the Vols and Coach Barnes come home champions. Now let's take it to Kentucky. Amen, brother. Yeah, man. Like I said, and it's because of fans, which ruin it for a lot of people. I can't stand South Carolina. I have a special hate for them. I have a lot of respect for what Lamont Paris has done with that program, though. He's taken a program who was picked dead last. Man, they're right in it. They're one of the best 5 teams, best 6 teams in this conference. Tennessee, in no particular order, Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, Auburn, Florida, Kentucky. They're the cream of the crop. They're the best of the conference. There's no doubt. Who would have thought coming into the season South Carolina would be in that mix? Hats off to him for what he's done on it. Carlos Negro says, screw Arizona. Oh, yeah. Let's hope it doesn't come down to that with the committee. But, yeah, there's some bad blood between Tennessee and Arizona. And it's a possibility that that's your 1 and 2 seed in a bracket. If it goes kind of in that snake order and that's your 2 candidates for that 4th number 1 seed, then they should be the 1 and 2 in each other's bracket. I'd love to see them put them out of it again, especially after last year. There's been some hard feelings when they had the home and home last couple of years. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. A lot of hurt feelings, a lot of mouth running. Yeah, I'd like to see Arizona. I'd like to beat them and put them out and go to the Final Four. That would be great on it. Let's see. Goes to Johnny. May need to win at least 2 games in tourney. I'm assuming you're referring to the SEC tournament. I don't disagree with that, especially depending on if them and Arizona are neck and neck. Yeah, you got to win a couple games. And I'm going to see if I can pull the bracket up here while we're looking at it, or kind of a dummy bracket, I guess you could say, to see kind of when the game times are. Let's see. I'm going to pull it up right now. SEC tournament bracket 2024. Of course, you got the women's tournament going on here in Greenville this weekend. Should be a lot of fun, especially if you're a South Carolina fan. Curious to see what happens to the Lady Vols. Kind of go a little off topic. Yeah, I'm really curious where they go, what happens with them. Does Danny White get his first big decision as an athletic director at Tennessee? When I was on another channel, Danny White was hired. I researched Danny White, looked at what his programs had done at Central Florida. All programs ranked, winning, doing good things. It's like, man, this is good. It's replicating here at Tennessee. Kelly Harper was a Philip Fulmer hire, par for the course, based on what Fulmer became. You know, God bless the guy. We may never, who knows if we'll ever see another national championship. I hope we will. The program's on it. It's on the up, but you know, it's never guaranteed on it. But man, his hires, everything passed him by. He didn't have any business being in there. It was a feel-good hire at the time. It was probably what we needed to try to heal some wounds, but yeah, it made it worse than it was. We'll see if Kelly Harper doesn't have a big run. Does Danny White have a decision to make? I'm interested to see that. But getting to the SEC men's basketball tournament, it looks like the 1 seed, who is Vols, will play Friday at noon Central Time, 11 a.m. That's what it's looking like according to what I'm seeing next week. So I think I can work it out where I'll be post game right after that. It's not, I do have to do a little bit of work that day, but I got a little flexibility on that day thanks to being what it is that day. So I think there's a good possibility the game's moving forward. We're going to figure out a way. We're going live on all of them. This channel's focus right now is going to be basketball, live post games. We've hit up in the 80s tonight. That's awesome. Let's keep on rocking and rolling, man. We're going to ride this momentum. We're going to ride this thing because I can assure you, I just started this channel January 1st at 12:01 a.m. Next year, when we get back around to basketball, and we'll cover it from the get-go, and we'll try to hit recruiting. Not been a lot of news on it. There will be a lot of news on portal activity. I have no doubt about that. Let's see what we got. John Baxter says, I want all the banners. Man, I'm with you. I'm with you at this point. And I've said it. I said, I don't care about the SEC tournament. Let's win them all. Let's win the regular season. Let's win the conference tournament. And then, by God, let's go win the national championship. Let's do it. I'm for it. I hate to lose. I hate to lose in anything. I wouldn't say I'm a sore loser. I can win. Not sorely, but I hate to lose. Let's win them all. There's nobody in this conference I want to lose to. And that's what it boils down to. To lose an SEC tournament means you have to lose to someone you don't want to. I don't want to lose to South Carolina. I don't want to lose to Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Kentucky. None of these teams. So let's go, man. Let's do it. G. White, what a game. G. White, man, you corrected me this week, and I appreciate it. If Tennessee had lost tonight, looking at the what ifs, they would have, let's say they lost tonight, then Carolina both win this coming weekend, they would have won a share of the conference championship because I was fixated on, they would have had number 1 seed on it. But no, it would have been a share of the conference championship. Tennessee has benefited from that before. He brought it to my attention. I was like, I had to think about it a minute. It's like, that is right. A lot of good comments. Old G. White's left. Thank you for commenting. He said, GBO exclamation. Absolutely. Let's see. Ghost Johnny went to Columbia and took their lunch money. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Gary Harper said South Carolina Super Bowl tonight. Yeah. Yep. I hope old Spencer Rattler was up there to see that one. I'll tell you what I thought was cool tonight from Tennessee's perspective. You had Grant Williams there, which I would like to cover some VFL review. Hadn't had time to do that the last few weeks just with basketball and baseball coming on. If you're new to the channel, I did some VFL review. I called it, talking about, one of them was like when Todd Helton got elected to the Hall of Fame, talked about your Jawan Jennings, your Trey Smiths, your Jalen Reeves-Mabins, all these guys, and there's some of them leaving, just reviewing what all these guys are doing. Leading up to Major League, your Drew Gilberts, your Jordan Becks, your Trey Lipscombs, these guys that are having an opportunity going to camps and stuff as well. But it's a little bit before that. My last VFL review, it was before Grant Williams got traded. This Charlotte trade's worked out good for him. Good to see him back at home where he belongs. Good to see him there tonight supporting Tennessee in his stuff. But I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but Big Al Wilson, him and Grant Williams sitting side by side. And if you can't get fired up for that, I don't know what fires you up. That was pretty awesome to see. That's Tennessee athletics right now is at its peak that I can remember as far as all sports in terms of football, baseball, basketball. You've got it rolling with all three, with Heupel, with Rick Barnes, with Tony Vitello. I cannot remember a time, there were some times later on you had Rod Delmonico. You may have had, Fulmer and Jerry Green. That was some decent these definitely didn't have the coverage it has now. You had to read the newspaper for it then. You didn't have the luxury of ESPN2, ESPN Plus, or any of those. But yeah, there's a lot of things, and a lot of your programs that don't get the credit or don't get the attention are rolling too. What they're doing, what Danny White, what Plowman, what Randy Boyd, this is what having an admin who are on the same page, who are strong, who are not taking crap off the NCAA. This is what a strong admin looks like. You're rolling. You got coaches doing their jobs. You got coaches producing. They have support. They're rolling. They're rocking. Whatever you want to call it. Tennessee athletics is rolling right now. People may not like to hear it outside of here. People may think it's homerism. It's not. The proof's in the pudding. This program, these programs are just excelling right now throughout campus. Every sport. Hats off to all the coaches. Hats off to all these athletes who are putting it on Tennessee. Darius Jones says, are you concerned of a letdown against Kentucky? To me, I've been a Vols fan for a long time. To me, depending on what region Tennessee goes in, I'll give them a shot as long as they don't beat themselves. This weekend, I feel good about that game because I think it's what I like about this stretch, this gauntlet, is Tennessee cannot take it easy from here on out. From Auburn out. Auburn, Alabama, South Carolina, Kentucky this weekend. Tennessee should never take Kentucky lightly in basketball. Have they before? I don't know on that. There's sometimes I wonder. But if I'm Tennessee, I want to finish this thing in grand fashion. You get to next weekend, you're playing Friday. You win that, you're playing Saturday, Sunday. Worst case, you got 1 day. Best case, you play 3 days on it. That's better than playing 4 or 5 on it. Shouldn't be too exhausting to take it out of you for the tournament. We've seen it in the past with Tennessee. I feel it's the same this year, and I agree with that. If they don't beat themselves, I feel they can go a long ways. How high? Maybe as high as it goes. Maybe hoisting that trophy on Monday night this year. They've got the pieces. They have the main guy for it. They have the parts to it. They have the coaching. They have all they have. Probably the best chance we're going to see in Knoxville of winning a championship. Could there be more in the future? Sure. Absolutely. But, yeah, I give them a good shot as long as they don't shoot themselves in the foot. And we see that at times with them. Absolutely. Sam Harger, what a great night. Vols on the diamond. Bring home the championship from Columbia. That was, I had both games pulled up. I had the diamond Vols, base Vols pulled up on my computer and the basketball. And I guess we've used up all our hits against Bowling Green last night against Kansas State because it was a rough night tonight. But, hey, good teams find a way to win, and that's what I love about college baseball. There's not a night you can't bring it or somebody may beat you. Southern Indiana, I looked at that. I commented on somebody commented on one of the videos today and said, this team may hit double-digit home runs tonight. And I said, yeah, there's a good chance they're putting up 20 to 30 runs tonight. Well, we were both off on that one. That was a tough game tonight. Some good pitching, but, a win's a win. You take it. Let's see what else we got here. Goes to Johnny Majors. They body slammed Connected at least 3 times. Yeah, he was getting roughed up. I appreciate the fact that they let him play, but there were some times I was like, we got to draw the line here at some point. And I'd mentioned earlier, there was one possession where I saw Connect get nailed and like once or twice. And then here Ziegler makes a move and somebody just kind of touches him with their arm. They called the foul. So it's like, I don't know, maybe different refs are seeing different things, but whatever. Let's see. What happens that stupid South Carolina guy drives around in his car for his channel? Betty crash. I'm not up to date on all the YouTube channel guys. I'm thinking, what was it? Carolina Jackpot was one of them. I was on, I know when I was on the other Tennessee network, you guys that followed know where I come from on it. Um, I know we got called out. Mainly the guy who runs the channel got called out. I think Carolina Jackpot called that channel out a little bit. There was some back and forth between them or whatever. Some of it's crazy over the top. It's for clicks. It's not good content. Honestly, it's just maniacal craziness more than anything. And, to each their own. To each their own, depending on the sports you cover. I don't necessarily follow a lot of channels. I follow some. I look at what other people are doing. And I'm fascinated by content that's put out there where you may see a football type channel, and I'm not referring to I'm not referring to Talking Vols, by the way, on this. So, because they do watch parties for basketball, they don't claim to be basketball, baseball. There is another channel or two that I've seen. They claim to be football, and all of a sudden it's cool to do another sport. And it's, I don't know, man. It's, I'm not going to cover something on this channel if I'm not up to date on it, or if I'm not well versed in it, I guess you could say, or well educated in it, or if I don't understand what's going on. And that's some of what's out there. But yeah, I bet some of that Carolina Jackpot, he's pretty over the top from what I've seen. To each their own, whatever works for them, whatever. That's pretty typical of Carolina sports, though, from what I've seen. There's some sensible people. I know a lot of Carolina fans, a lot of good people. I texted with one of my buddies I used to teach with tonight, and she texted me about the game. We were going back and forth on it. Love her to death on it. Sensible, supports Carolina. She played a little, I think, softball up there, as a matter of fact, back in the day with it. But there's some that are just over the top with it and just trying to, like I said, a couple years ago when we went to the South Carolina football game, it was all good. When we were leaving, we caught it the whole way out, and it was just over the top, man. It's like I expected it. I was okay with it, but you always have that one or two that goes a little over the top with it. And let's see, Miles Lane. Thanks, Miles, for tuning in. Appreciate you, man. Great gritty win. Got to believe that these last few high-pressure games have sharpened the basketballs into a team can slice through whatever they see in the next few weeks. They've gone into two hostile environments and come out and taken care of business both games on it. There's games in the past, many of you, we've talked about it in here. In the past, these Tennessee teams lose those games with it. They weren't always pretty, the Bama game nor the South Carolina game, but they got it done, man. You got to give them credit. You got to win these games. It's nice to win the games where you boat race a Florida, a Kentucky at Rupp, an Alabama and Knoxville like they did. But you have to be able to win these types of games if you're going to get to your goal. Because, there's going to be in March Madness, when we get to the NCAA tournament, there's going to be some of those games you're going to have to grind it out. You're not going to waltz through that. We know it. We've seen it. We've all seen it. How many times have we expected Tennessee to make this run? It was set up for them last year to get to the Final Four, and they dropped it against FAU. They totally dropped the ball that game. It was set up perfectly for them with, the teams that went out and stuff. Let's see. Sam Hargrove, don't let Kentucky fans in the Food City Center for senior night against Kentucky. These champions deserve a huge live crowd. And to beat that, I absolutely agree. Senior night, Dalton Connect, Santiago Vescovi, Josiah Jordan James. We need to send these guys out, or I say we. I'm not going to be there. And that brings me, I was reminded, if you're in the Greenville area, if you're close by, and I know a couple of you on here are, Yeehaw Brewing, watch party Saturday. I'm probably not going to go live after the Kentucky game. That'll probably be the only one the rest of the way I don't. But there is like an alumni watch party at Yeehaw Brewing. If you're in the area, come on down, man. Find me. I'll be the guy in orange. I'll be easy to find because because of my orange. But in all seriousness, if you're in the area close by, be awesome for you to come down. It's a cool venue. They have a big screen. It's outdoor. It'll be a lot of fun on there. Sit around, hang out, watch the Vols, Kentucky. It'll be a blast. So if you're down in that area or not too far away, I hope you'll come out with that. So I was told to remind you of that. But yeah, man, if you got a chance to go to that game this weekend, there's some of you in the comments that I've seen go to games this year, and that's awesome. You've got to go. These seniors, man, they deserve it. They deserve it. And like I said, I've been hard on at times on Vescovy and James, but these guys have been awesome. Tennessee Vols. We're proud of them. Or I say I'm proud of them. I'm proud of what they've given. This year, their roles have not been what they've been in the past. They've embraced them, and I feel they're playing them now better than at any point. They've been relied on more to score in the past, but you look at their defense, you look at like James early in the game had some big blocks tonight. They're rebounding, their assists, the plays they're making. These guys deserve their due, man. They really do. And, who's to say what happens in the NCAA tournament? But I hope Vescovy and James, I hope they get the respect they deserve when this season ends. Ideally, that would end in a national championship. But, even if this team gets to a Final Four, I hope that, I think most sensible fans will. You always get those over-the-top fans. Apparently, Tony Vitello talked about they had one last night that made him and Blake Burke mad, who was criticizing him for striking out. How are you going to do that with Tennessee baseball? There's times, there's things that are a little over the top, but kind of hard to go with that. John Baxter and both were on the road. Caleb Staley owed 2 points. I guess I've gotten so far off topic. I'm not sure which yet. There was a 5-way tie for second place. Tourney champs next and Final Four race winners. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I prefer listed the tingles that Dykes gets in certain places, talking about DK and Barnes. Well, that's much better than the tingles Jay Billis gets. That's a fact. Let's see. Sam Hargrove says Papa Jay's stroking out in a ditch. Oh, he's talking about the Carolina guy. Miles, find someone that loves you half as much as Dykes loves DK. That's probably why I love Dykes so much. He's definitely all about some Dalton Connect Tennessee. I've always liked Dykes. He seems to be pro Tennessee. Maybe that's just him playing to his games. But he does love him some Dalton Connect. He's the anti-Jay Billis for sure. Let's see. Watch a couple. He's got JL said GBO. TK81 GBO. Ghost Johnny Majors Kiss the Ring. JL says Al looked intense. He wanted to play. Yeah, the time I saw Al on there, man, he looked like he was ready to go out and tackle somebody as well. Tip Jackson, yeah, absolutely. Throw Karen Weekly in there too. Yep. She's doing an awesome job with that softball program. Absolutely. Put some respect on her name as well from what they've done with that softball program. Let's see. TK liked and subscribed to this growing channel. It is, man. It is. It's not growing without any of you, though. So, thank you. I can only produce it if it's not good content. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it's the best or anything. I am saying it's going to be the most thorough basketball and baseball channel, though. And for that, writer 24/7 says nobody can beat them on basketball. You're going to find out on it. You're going to find out basketball and baseball. Just because you're able to travel for your job doesn't mean you're going to outproduce the House of Orange. I can tell you that right now. And I won't get the interviews. I won't get the inside access. At least who knows where it goes with it. I would love to get to that point. But the content's coming off here. You're not going to beat my content. I'm just going to tell you that now. Darius Jones, I believe the SEC tournament will be fun to watch a team that can make a run is Florida. Florida is playing their best basketball of the season right now. I think it was Dykes I saw talked about Florida and said this is a sleeper team that could make like an Elite Eight type run. Absolutely. They're peaking at the right time. Right. They run Alabama out of the gym last night. They will be a team to be reckoned with in Nashville next week. You may see them creep up on that. Tip Jackson says Carolina jackpot. Yep, that's the one I was thinking it was. Seen some of his stuff. I don't watch it. I don't know. I'm just not into the whole watching videos for the most part. And ironically enough, I'm producing them. I'm more of a reader than I am a listener. But I've contemplated going the blog post route to kind of hit both parts. You know, the people that like to read versus the people that like to listen. But I don't know. We'll see where that goes with it. I could easily pull off both of them. Let's see. John Baxter, GTG Frank will catch the rest of the recap tomorrow. Love your channel. Look forward to seeing it grow over the next year. Keep up the good work, bud. Thank you, man. Appreciate you a lot for listening on here. Like I told you guys, man, it's some of this is tooting the horn, but this thing, and it's due to all you all, this thing has grown substantially just in the last week. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Let's see. Tip, Aunt Lou's a troll, but at least he knows football. I'm assuming that's Carolina. I'm not sure on that one. Let's see what else we got. T-Bird, don't sweat it, Rock. You do you, and I'm sure you're going to take off. There's plenty of room for all Vol Nation on the YouTube. You have a distinct person. Yeah, I mean, there's room for everybody to eat. There really is. It's, you know, that's one of those things. That's kind of my thing. I'm not trying to copy any other channel. I'm trying to do my own thing. I'm trying to be distinct and different from others. There's just not a lot of them that gives basketball and baseball the attention. It doesn't have the fan base that football does, but there is room for both. So make no mistake about it. That's where I love them all, especially the main three: football, baseball, basketball. Me being a baseball guy too, that's a big passion of mine. So I'm going to try to pay that attention. And, you know, as you get closer to a postseason, everybody's interest amps up as well. I started doing some live shows for baseball to start the year. But, you know, when you're playing a High Point, you're playing a UNC Asheville or something, naturally it's not going to bring the views on it. You get into basketball right now, it's the height of the year. This schedule to end to the viewer is awesome because it's tough. You know, that's kind of where you go with it. Hope one day you do a crossover talking Vols. I know other people would tune in for good content. I've had numerous people that said that. I don't know that it'll happen, guys. I don't know if the other channel has interest in it. If they do, that's great. If not, so be it. I'll continue building it the way I have from the beginning on it. As some of you know, that I was a member of that channel at one point. I did a lot of content for it also. But, and, you know, a lot of you have found this channel, found me from that. So I appreciate you guys, and good to see so many of you in here that have interacted with before. It's been awesome to see a lot of you in here. See, David Emerson said, great win. My younger brother's Gamecock fan, so it was definitely some payback. But we both agree USC is a great team. We hope to we get to see a rubber match in the tournament. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing them play again in Nashville as well to see, just because this style of play gives Tennessee trouble. And I would almost like to see them get another matchup with them in preparation for the tournament. I just don't think getting an Alabama is what we need. I don't think that's the kind of team that's going to give Tennessee trouble in the tournament. A team that doesn't play great defense, they can run and gun on it. I feel that's the teams, and we'll see this weekend against Kentucky. That's what you're about to see again, a team that can score, team that doesn't defend well. So going to be interesting to see in that game. I fully suspect and expect Tennessee's going to win that game this weekend, that they're going to finish this stretch undefeated and, end what is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, SEC basketball conference seasons in a long time, with at least a 2-game, if not 3-game margin this weekend. Alabama has Arkansas. South Carolina goes to Mississippi State. That's not going to be an easy game for them. We found that out already. I'm not sure who Florida plays right off the top of my head. I've not looked at their schedule. Obviously, we know Kentucky comes to Knoxville. I fully expect Tennessee to complete that season sweep of them. Let's see here what we got. Darius Jones in the SEC tournament team watch for Florida make life frustrating against Kentucky this Saturday. Florida's playing good, man. They are playing good. I would not be surprised. Their seed, I think, is going to be we're right around that 3, 4, 5, 6 range. So I fully expect, I think we would have to probably get to the championship to see them. I want to see start the second string in the second game of the tourney and get rested up, ready for a run to Phoenix. Yeah, we'll see what they do on that one. I think they'll probably keep it close to the vest, what they've been doing. But, I would like to see some of those freshmen just in the event that you get into foul trouble, see them get a little bit of playing time. Darius Jones, I hope Tennessee fans will be loud, make it difficult against Kentucky this Saturday. Let's hope they're Kentucky. Let's put it that way. Devin Williams, Kentucky next. Richard Patton, how about them Vols? Go big orange. T-Bird, sign shot, buy or sell. Tennessee makes the Final Four in men's basketball. Or next fall, Tennessee wins an SEC championship. I'm buying Final Four. Just because I think Georgia is going to be hard to handle again next year. So if I had to buy on that, I buy Tennessee making the Final Four. I sell SEC championship. I hope I'm wrong on that. But there's also, if I'm not mistaken, the conference is it next year? They get rid of the divisions. So, I've already looked at it. If you haven't already, it was a while back. I did a way early look forward to next year for Tennessee football. I've already predicted 11-1 on it. Is that ambitious? Possibly. But Georgia's the only game I see on the schedule that I'm just saying I just don't see it. It's in Athens, and they're going to be loaded again next year. T-Bird signed shot. Let's see. Devin Williams says, I love Rick Barnes. Man, Rick Barnes this is his best coaching job this year. I really believe that. He's doing a great job. T-Bird signed shot. Yes, sir. No more divisions. Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. I was thinking it was going that direction. I can't keep up with some of this stuff with all the differences and stuff. I really can't with conference. And if I'm the SEC, I without a doubt, this thing is trending toward basically breaking off from the NCAA. I don't know when. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I don't think it's a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when. And if I'm the SEC, I would look to try to go add Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina, and possibly Virginia out of that. For personal reasons, I would like to see Virginia Tech. I think Virginia may bring more to the table just because I think they're better all around. Virginia Tech would be a good one to add as well. Now, obviously, if you were to add, I don't know, you look at some other Miami would be interesting to add. Miami's kind of they're kind of a iffy fan base. So I don't know that they would fit so much. I think it could be a good addition, but we'll see where that goes with it. So moving forward, a little off topic there. Is Rick Barnes the UT men's head coach GOAT? I think he is. You could go back to this was before my era, Mears. You look at Don DeVoe, who was a good coach. You look at Bruce Pearl. You got to give Bruce Pearl credit. He did a great job at Tennessee. None of this is probably possible without Bruce Pearl because you had the Kevin O'Neill. You went from Don DeVoe to Wade Houston to Kevin O'Neill, who recruited great, just didn't coach them well. thank goodness he hit the road. Jerry Green come in. Jerry Green, man, he was okay. I felt they overachieved. I look back at those rosters Jerry Green had. Man, those teams were loaded. They were absolutely loaded with talent during that time. And I just felt there was so much more they could have done with it. And then you went from Jerry Green to Buzzball. A lot of people were excited for Buzz Peterson to come in, thought, yeah, this is the guy. Buzz inherited some good talent and did nothing with it. He left. Didn't really think he recruited that great, but little did we know he left some talent for Bruce Pearl. And Bruce Pearl excelled. Bruce Pearl, as you know, did not get canned for on-court performance. He got canned for what he did off the court. But right or wrong with it, you look back on it, it's not much. You went from Pearl to Conzo Martin, and good Lord, Conzo Martin was, you had the petition, right or wrong, about it. People were not happy with Conzo Martin because he was underachieving. It took that petition to kind of put a jolt in them to get them on that run. And they were real close to going to the Elite Eight. He left for Cal. He does what he normally does when he's about to get run off. He hits the road on it. He wasn't able to do it at Missouri, and they got him before he could get them. And it blew my mind the amount of coaches that come to bat for him. He's not a good coach. He's just not. He may be a great man. I'm not doubting that, but there's a difference between being a great man and a great coach, and a great coach, Conzo Martin, is not. Donnie Tyndall, I actually thought Donnie Tyndall was a good coach. Donnie Tyndall's problems, he's a slime ball. He's a little squirrely slime ball was his problem with it. T-Bird sound partial to Buzz Peterson. I wish we lived in a world where when Rick retired, we got Pearl back from Auburn. There's numerous people thinks that. I frankly, at this point, I want no part of Pearl. I want no part of Pearl moving forward. And I definitely want no part of his arrogant, egotistical son who's coattailed off him the whole time. He should have never played at Tennessee. He was no good. He played over guys he had no business playing over. Favoritism was shown. And now he tends to, every time Auburn plays Tennessee, he tends to run his mouth in the media about how he wished he'd never, I guess he wished he'd have played at Auburn. Of course he's going to say that, but he's a bum. His boy, he's a coat-tailing bum. Whatever. Buzz definitely fumbled. Yeah, Buzz had an opportunity, man. He had some good talent. I know he for sure had Yarborough, Slay, and Hayslip. And that was some good talent. That was three really, really good talents right there. Let's see. Agree with you on that. Yeah, thanks, Richard. Rumor is Pearl will take the Indiana job. Interesting. I did see in regard to that, they said Woodson would be back next year. So that could have made for some interesting conversation right there. I mean, you got to think in the history of it, Indiana's still, especially probably someone like Pearl or a lot of us who grew up with Indiana being a big job. I mean, there's still that nostalgia there. That would have been an interesting one if that would have came open. Let's see. Rethinking my spot on Pearl. Rick can't go on forever. What do you think is the down road to continue his success? What I've liked out of him this year, I think Rick Barnes has evolved more this year than I've seen him evolve in the past. But you got to face it, he's not had a Dalton Connect in a while. Maybe while he's been at Tennessee, he's had some good players. He's not had that offensive guy. He didn't have it last year. You would have your guys that would at times take over, but not like Connect has, for sure. You had a Kennedy Chan a couple years ago who was really good. Would have loved to seen him still on this team as he's bounced back and forth around the G League. Let's see. Indiana's Nebraska college basketball. Good similarity. Good comparison there. Yep. College football. Absolutely. Are you going to be podcasting SEC tournament? That's the plan. Tennessee plays, from what the schedule says, they'll play next Friday at 11 a.m. So they should be done around 1 p.m. My plan is I'm going to try to get back home and on for that at that point. And then Saturday and Sunday should be a go. At NCAA tournament, yeah, I'm going to make it happen. You know, if a sick day is required, a sick day is required. We're going to be on it for that. But, you know, thank you guys for tuning in. We've hit a new record up in the 80s now. I think we hit 87 at one point. It's awesome. This thing's rolling, man. And it is because of the interest in basketball. It's because of Rick Barnes, because of Dalton Connect. It's because of this basketball team. This fan base has interest. This fan base has hope. And this fan base is fired up for it. You're supporting just an old Tennessee fan like you guys, and I appreciate the support you give me for Tennessee basketball, for Tennessee baseball. It's going to keep rolling, moving forward. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bright and early in the morning, I'm going to get up and record the next day. I hope you'll tune in for that. I will not be, as of right now, going post-game Saturday after Kentucky. Again, if you're in the Greenville, South Carolina area, you're looking for a watch party Saturday, Yeehaw Brewing. I hope to see you there. Like I said, I'll be the guy in orange. Like there won't be many of them. But this is Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange. Your Tennessee men's basketball team is the 2024 regular season SEC champions. Timothy, the one and the same. That is absolutely right. But Tennessee is the SEC men's basketball champions for 2024. It's been a fun ride. There's still a long way to go. Enjoy your evening. As always, if you're a 24 SEC basketball champion, all you got to say is go Vols.